Most people think the only way to escape an energy-draining office is to walk away from it entirely. I argue that's not always true. Before you hand in your resignation, consider doing these steps to preserve your energy at work. As an introvert myself, being in an office environment, I find it to be mentally draining, mostly because of all the social interactions, social friction, the amount of performative people, and simply the fact that it can sometimes be so loud. Simply put, the office environment isn't designed for introverts. The office workplace is not only a place where you have to do your job, it is also a social place. I remember during the pandemic that a lot of people complained about having to stay at home. They complained about that they missed being in a physical workplace. They missed stuff such as having lunch with colleagues, talking with colleagues next to the coffee machine, or just having people around them while at work. Well, personally, I was one of those who enjoyed working from home during the pandemic. And I believe that for some reason, society has this default idea that the best work is done when you're part of a group. That discussions and meetings are what solves problems. I do agree, however, that discussions can be helpful, and in some cases it is necessary to get the best results, to receive feedback on your work progress, to discuss idea, and it's also always nice to receive some advice from more experienced people. And at the same time, I believe that some people, including myself, do better work when we work more independently and in quiet, limiting our social interactions to what is necessary. I've been thinking about resigning several times, not because I hate my job, but because I want a more quiet job where I can work more by myself. And in fact, I'm actually glad that I didn't resign right away, because there are many things that are within your control. There are many things you can do to conserve your, let's say, your social battery at work. You just have to manage it wisely. So before you're thinking about resigning because of all of the social noise, you need to ask yourself this question. Do you dread going to work? If the answer is no, then you can consider some of the measures you can implement. And these are based on my personal experience. Number one, you need to identify what drains your social battery. If you know that you're an introvert, you know that you can't just simply replenish your social energy bar when you're surrounded by too many people. Especially if it's the kind of people you're not comfortable with or you just simply don't vibe with. For me, that place, or what I identified, was the cafeteria, amongst other things. The cafeteria or the lunch area, for me, are the loudest places at work. And I've always had a preference to just eat my food alone. I don't need any social company when I want to have my lunch or eating in general. So to counter that, I started to bring my own food, and I eat most of my, let's say, my lunch, or I have most of my lunch breaks at my work desk or in front of my work desk. And you can always say that you have to work, or you have a deadline to reach or something like that. And it's not like I avoid having lunch with my colleagues in the cafeteria. So sometimes or occasionally I would have like maybe once or twice eating lunch in the cafeteria. And over to number 2. It is especially difficult for introverts to concentrate when people are talking loudly in the background, and especially if they talk about topics that are unrelated to work and that are completely uninterested to you. So at my workplace, we have noise cancelling headsets, or my employer hands them out. If you don't have one and you want to do productive work, I highly recommend you to invest in a pair of good quality noise cancelling headsets. I always say anything that you buy with money to preserve your social battery is always worth the investment. Number 3. If your job allows remote work, you should definitely take advantage of that as much as possible. So in Norway we have something called flexitid, which literally translates to flexible time, meaning you can arrive and leave work when you want. However, there is a caveat to this. You have to be present at work in what we call the core office hours, that can be between 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. As long as you're in the work, you're at your work between 9 to 3, depending on the job, then that's fine. You can come before 9 a.m. and you can leave after 3 p.m., sometimes 2 p.m. It depends on how much work you need to do. So in my case, I would sometimes show up at the office at 6:30, sometimes even sooner. I'd be there before anyone else showed up at work, and I just enjoy having those 1 to 2 hours where I can just be alone. And strangely enough, I did actually most of my productive work during that time when I was by myself in the office. And lastly, number 4, and probably the most important point here, is that you have to be honest to yourself and to others about your introversion. There's nothing wrong about being an introvert. It's normal. It's just as normal as being an extrovert. And I just find it a lot more easier now to just simply say no when it comes to attending social work events. Sometimes adding that those kinds of events aren't for me. And it's such a relief to have the courage to say no instead of making up excuses because of your introverted personality. I made it quite clear to my superiors that I'm an introvert, and I've explained to them that I'm not antisocial. I find especially meetings to drain my energy more than anything else. And to some of you listening to this, I might find this quite this concept to be strange or alien, that you can be so honest, so candid towards your boss. in Norwegian culture, or especially work culture, it is based on trust and honesty, and they rank quite high. Besides, the Norwegian work hierarchy is flat, meaning even though your boss or your superior has a title, we are still all considered equal. So the way I framed this to my boss, I told him that I want to improve my job. I want to become better at my job. And if there's something you could adjust that are relatively quick and easy changes that wouldn't necessarily create more workload for my colleagues, then that would be great. So we had a discussion, and we really didn't do that much. I think it was just really helpful and very nice of them to take the time to listen to me, and so that we have this common understanding about that people are different, of course. And the way we did that was they told me that there are some meetings you have to attend, and then there are some you necessarily don't have to be present in. And for the ones you have to attend, you can just go to the meeting, you can do your part, and then if you have other work to do, you can just leave. And those changes have vastly improved my my time at work, and it has been very helpful in preserving my social energy at work. So to sum it up, there are things you can change to improve your social battery at work. I've seen plenty of stories of people who just quit their jobs right away when it gets tough, and they haven't considered implementing changes. And you also have the option to apply for a position in a different department or section or something like that. Maybe in a position where there are less meetings and you can work more independently. So you should not quit your job because of the social friction, the performance at work, having to eat lunch in the cafeteria. And there are a lot of things you can do to better your situation at work if you want to maintain your social battery as an introvert. Only quit if you have exhausted all of your options to control your situation. So if you are thinking about quitting your job because you didn't find it to be mentally draining, then I advise you to at least try and look at some alternatives you can do at work. And yeah, let me know what you think.